खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, हर काम उसके रहते हरगिज़ हुआ पड़ा है। कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, हजारों कदम बढ़ाने वो सामने खड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये
ओम शांति। Bring all your attention in the present moment. No past, no future. Just total in the present. And experiencing myself. A light being full of joy, full of love, full of happiness, full of purity. So clean, so pure energy I have. I let go of all the blockages, all the fears, anxiety, burden of the past. Seeking something in the future. I let go and I totally enjoy the present moment. I am a conscious soul, conscious being, aware of my patterns, my mind, those wrong thinking patterns, and I am powerful enough to not identify with it. मैं इतना पावरफुल हूँ कि अपनी थिंकिंग से जो मेरे मन में विकल्प आते हैं उनसे आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करूं, इमोशन से आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करूं, my original nature is peace. I am God's divine angel. I feel God's presence in the present. I feel my divinity, God's divinity around me, and I enjoy this present moment and healing myself. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. How are you all? And how is your process journey of being in the present going on? Isn't it fascinating, bit challenging? Mind has a habit of always going to past, jumping to future, right? But we are exploring something very powerful, something very meaningful, and that is how to be in the present. And this is the basic of being soul conscious. So we want to heal ourselves, we want to heal others, we want to heal the nature, this world, we want to raise the vibration of this world, we want to spread love, peace, but it starts with how much present I am and how much conscious I am. Whenever I am in the present, I am conscious, which means I will not do wrong things. I will not create negative thoughts which would impact my health, my mental health, people around me, their mental health, and overall world's vibration level. So, by being in the present, I am serving the humanity. I am serving the people around me. So take pride in that. When you attend this session, when you are reading the book, you're not only helping yourself by understanding your thought process, your mind identification, we are going to help the world. So in a subtle way, as well as in a physical way also, by counseling others, telling others that this you have to do, this you should not do, right? So yeah, so overall, I want to ask you all, how is your journey going on? And it's been almost 7 days. We are reading this book, and slowly and steadily we are getting the hold of it, right? So um, till now there has been talk about ego and pain body, and how so much attached we are to the pain, and unconsciously, not always consciously, unconsciously, मतलब हमें पता भी नहीं होता, हम उस पेन को अपनी लाइफ में रखना चाहते हैं. We want to keep that pain so that we can, you know it's scary sometimes, and I agree. We feel that if I leave this, if I leave my past, if I leave my future, what am I going to have? And this thought that I'm just this moment, uh, you know for some people it gets scary because we have that habit of clinging, attaching to few things. चीजों से चिपकना, जुड़ना हमारा बिहेवियर हो गया है. तो हम जब भी बात करते हैं कि जब आप प्रेजेंट में हो तो नथिंग इज देयर. सो people feel then what is mine, and they can't keep it for a longer time. So इस वजह से थोड़ा सा इशू होता है, but we are understanding that when we are truly present, how much, what a wonderful experience it is to be non-judgmental, non-critical, uh, not not having that burden, not always seeking something in the future. जो मन भागता रहता है कि शायद कुछ फ्यूचर में मिल जाएगा, जॉब कर लूंगा, पैसे आ जाएंगे, रिलेशनशिप में आ जाऊंगा, if I look good, if I have so much followers, then I will be happy. I will be at a space a space, or I will roam. I will go to the other country. Then I will feel good. Nothing is ever going to happen, right? So we have to experience being in the present. So we are on the chapter 3, and today we are going to read. If you have a physical book, it's page number 44. Otherwise, it's chapter 3, assessing the power of now. So far in the chapter 3, we understood the key to the spiritual dimension. And the author is trying to say is that if you want to understand the present moment, if you want to understand what life is, you can't uh, experience at the level of mind. You have to go beyond mind. So this is what the author is saying. I think we have to go little above. I think we have to start from assessing the power of now, right? No, below. Yeah. Next. Yes. So the author says that the seeker says that a moment ago, when you talked about the eternal present and the unreality of past and future, I found myself looking at the tree outside the window. I had looked at it a few times before, but this time it was different. The external perception had not changed, but except that the colors seemed brighter and more vibrant. But there was now an added dimension to it. This is hard to explain. I don't know how, but I was aware of something invisible that I felt was the essence of that tree, its inner spirit, if you like. And somehow I was part of that. I realized now that I had not truly seen the tree before, just a flat and dead image of it. Now, when I look at the tree now, some of that awareness is still present, but I can feel it slipping away. You see, the experience is already receding into the past. Can something like this ever be more than a fleeting glimpse? The seeker is saying that, like I shared, I think first day or second day. So the seeker is saying that, when I am becoming, aware, when I'm living in the moment, in the present, even a tree is looking more vibrant, more bright, and little something in me which is liking it. And that he's saying that that inner spirit, I could connect with the tree. And again he says that, but it was just momentarily, कुछ समय के लिए था, फिर वो चला गया. So he's asking, is it possible that we can experience this for a longer time, permanently? So author says that you were free of time for a moment. You moved into the now and therefore perceived the tree without the screen of mind. The awareness of being became part of your perception. With the timeless dimension comes a different kind of knowing, one that does not kill the spirit that lives within every creature and everything. A knowing that does not destroy the sacredness and mystery of life, but contains a deep love and reverence for all that is, a knowing of which the mind knows nothing. So when we come into the present, we so for that moment, we should try this today. Now, when you go for a walk in the evening, just look at the nature, a beautiful flower or a tree maybe. So he's saying that what has happened to you is that you were free of time for a moment. So what happened with that, with your being, when you are becoming in the when you're coming in the present, you are becoming soul conscious, that being. And when you are that being, you connect with everyone, you connect with every single creature, you see the spirit in them, which means you see beyond body, beyond, even you can connect to a simple, to animals, to, you will start talking to flowers. If you ask me, I talk with them a lot, because you can connect with that spirit when you are in the present. That's what soul consciousness is. You feel that, they are loving you and you are loving them. You can see a connection, you can feel a connection. And the author is saying, a knowing of which the mind knows nothing, which means, in the next paragraph, the mind cannot know the tree. It can only know facts or information about the tree. My mind cannot know you, only labels, judgments, facts, and opinion about you. Being alone knows directly. A mind cannot know the tree, a mind cannot know the person. If what mind does, only it will put to your label. They are a male, they are a female, they are educated, they are uneducated, judgment, facts, opinion, their height is shorter, they are this, they don't, they look black, they look white. That's it. It is not the work of mind to do that. So when we become free of the mind, we feel that connection. There is a place for mind and mind knowledge. It is in the practical realm of day to day living. However, when it takes over all aspects of your life, including your relationship with other human beings and with nature, it becomes a monstrous parasite that, unchecked, may well end up killing all life on the planet and finally itself by killing its host. So there is a place for mind, there is a place for, knowledge, for our day to day life, but it should just not be the only way. Some people are like, I am very technical. Some people are very analytical. They just analyze everything. So what is going to happen? They will analyze a relationship also, that, this equation is equal to this. Like I said, that if they will, how they will analyze that, if they don't listen to me, it means they don't love me. This is our thinking mind, this is the mind knowledge. And it becomes a very dangerous thing for other humans as well as with nature. This is what has happened to the world, which the author is trying to say, is that there is no connection now. They just treat people as numbers. They just treat people like, okay, I'm from this country, they are from this country. I should eliminate these. I should kill them, right? So author says, you have had a glimpse of how the timeless can transform your perceptions, but an experience is not enough, no matter how beautiful or profound. What is needed and what we are not concerned with is a permanent shift in consciousness. The author says you had a glimpse. I believe we all had a glimpse, right? If you're doing this, can I get the answer? That kuch time ke liye, na, glimpse of how the timeless can transform your perception. We start becoming more loveful, more peaceful, more considerate about others. But the author is saying that this experience is not enough. What we have to do is permanent shift in consciousness. We have to bring the permanent shift. एक दो moment के लिए नहीं, permanently. So break the old pattern of present moment denial and present moment resistance. Make it your practice to withdraw attention from past and future whenever they are not needed. Step out of the time dimension as much as possible in everyday life. If you find it hard to enter the now directly, start by observing the habitual tendency of your mind to want to escape from the now. You will observe that the future is usually imagined as either better or worse than the present. If the imagined future is better, it gives you hope or pleasurable anticipation. And if it is worse, it creates anxiety. Both are illusionary. Through self observation, more presence comes into your life automatically. The moment you realize you are not present, you are present. This is like very powerful. But through self observation, more presence comes into your life automatically. And the moment you realize you are not present, you are present. I'll explain it. Whenever you are able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. Another factor has come in, something that is not of the mind, the witnessing presence. So he's saying that break the old patterns of the present moment denial and present moment resistance. So break the old pattern, observe. He's saying that if you can't go directly into the now, tell yourself, I am in the present, I am peaceful, I am loveful, I am God's child. If you can go directly to the present, very good. Otherwise, what should we do? Take 2 minutes, take 3 minutes, just observe that how my mind is trying to go in the past or in the future. Just play with it. Just smile with it. That try to understand what mind is doing. It is either going to see something better in the future. This will happen. This will happen. I will feel good, and we go into those imaginations, or it will create anxiety. What if this happens? ये हो गया तो, वो हो गया तो, right? So this is very important that through self observation, when I'm observing, taking 2 minutes, 3 minutes to come in the present, more presence comes into your life automatically. And the moment you realize you're not present, you are present. Like throughout the day, the moment you realize, am I in the present? क्या मैं हूँ present में? The moment you realize it, moment you ask yourself that I am not in the present, you will come in the present, right? So whenever you are able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped to it. You have become that observer, you have become soul conscious who is able to check what my mind is doing, answering yourself, whatever you're looking for in the people, in the future, in the past. It is just imaginary, it is just an illusion. Come to the present. Let's enjoy this moment. Can we do that? So, this is something very, very powerful. Be present as the watcher of your mind, of your thoughts and emotions, as well as your reactions in various situations. Be at least as interested in your reaction as in the situation or person that causes you to react. So powerful. So author is saying, be present as the watcher of your mind. He has explained through different ways. This we have understood. But he's saying that at be at least as interested in your reaction as you are interested in situation or people that causes you to react. है ना, कोई बात हो जाए तो हम वो तो देखते हैं, उसको ये बोलना है, next time be aware, check. You can check later also. Slowly you will start becoming aware that in the present, how I am reacting, how my emotions are reacting, how my mind is creating all these things. So notice how often your attention is in the past or future. Don't judge or analyze what you observe. Don't just categorize it. This is not healthy. This is not good. Nothing. Don't just judge or analyze. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, observe the reaction. Watch the thought, Feel the emotion and observe the reaction. Don't make a personal problem out of them. You will then feel something more powerful than any of those things that you will observe. The still observing presence itself behind the content of your mind, the silent watcher. You will be able to experience that I am an observer. I'm just watching this pass. And this is like another dimension, another realm, and we may have never experienced this before. So experience this is like, it's just like you're watching what your mind is trying to do. You will be able to understand, I know where you're going, and you will be able to stop it. You'll be able to channelize it, redirect it. उसको आप रोक पाओगे कि भाई सुनो, ये सही नहीं जा रहा है, ये गलत है, कम बैक, कम इन द प्रेजेंट, ये झूठ है जो आप क्रिएट कर रहे हो ना, कि ये इन्होंने ऐसा कर दिया, आई विल टेक अ रिवेंज आउट ऑफ देम, आई विल आई विल टेल देम व्हाट आई एम, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. This is not making me peaceful. So just be in the present. Okay. So somebody had asked this question: how to watch the thought. When I try that, the thought stops. How to do it? How to watch the thought, which means that what my mind is creating. You're observer. You just observed it. आपने देखा कि ये thought आ रहा था. The moment you observe it, you change it, or you'll be able to see कि मेरा mind क्या create कर रहा था. Try to go maybe 1 or 2 seconds before. You will be able to understand what my thoughts were. You know? So intense presence is needed when certain situations trigger a reaction with a strong emotional charge, such as when your self-image is threatened. A challenge comes into your life that triggers fear, things go wrong, or an emotional complex from the past is brought on. Intense presence is needed when certain situations trigger a reaction with a strong emotional charge, such as when your self image is threatened. Maybe somebody is trying to insult you, or some challenge comes up into your life that triggers fear, or something from the past has suddenly comes up. In those moments, we need to be very intensely present. Otherwise, it can become anxiety attack. It can take away all those consciousness. You will go into the wrong eating habits, self-destructing habits, um, risky habits, etc. In those instances, the tendency is for you to become unconscious. The reaction or emotions takes you over. You become it. You act it out. You justify, make wrong, attack, defend, accept that it is not you. It's the reactive pattern, the mind in its habitual survival mode. Identification with the mind gives it more energy. Observation of the mind withdraws energy from it. Identification with the mind creates more time. Observation of the mind opens up the dimension of timelessness. The energy that is withdrawn from the mind turns into presence. Once you can feel what it means to be present, it becomes much easier to simply choose to step out of the time dimension whenever time is not needed for practical purposes and move more deeply into the now. This does not impair your ability to use time, past, or future when you need to refer it for practical matters. Nor does it impair your ability to use your mind. In fact, it enhances it. When you do use your mind, it will be sharper, more focused. So we all have experienced this situation. Either something from the past suddenly comes up, or some situation, some self-image um, is threatened, or something which may trigger fear, right? So emotions, thoughts takes over. and we start feeling that, and we try to defend that because this is what the ego does. We justify, we attack, we defend, and we forget that this is not who I am, and this is my mind, my emotions, ego are playing with me. So what we have to do, identification, disidentify, right? We have to tell that I do not identify with all these crap, all these things. And the author is adding one more dimension to in the present, and that is timeless. Timeless means let go of the time. Like, if you observe closely, how many times we say this that, you know, I have been a failure from past 2 years, nothing is happening good. I am doing this for 10 years. 10 साल मैंने ये किया है आपके लिए. Or many things we say, we add some time to it. Or we in the future also we think that, after 2 years this will happen. So basically we are um, time the author is saying that time is useful. Of course, the being aware of the time is useful, that it is 3:45 p.m., it is 4 p.m., 5 p.m., it's 10 p.m., time to sleep, it's 4 a.m., time to wake up. But there are times when we should not use the time. And this may be little hard to understand right now, but as we go along we will understand, because there is a book also. We will try to do that also. The name of the book is Who Will Cry When You Die. So it's a very wonderful book. If you're just starting, it is a very simple book and very powerful. So in that there is an activity, there is a chapter, is that do not wear a watch for a day. So just for a day, try to do one thing. Watch, do not wear a watch, which means do not look at the time on your phone also. Let go of that thing also. Otherwise, it's like, kya time hua, now I'm supposed to be do this, now I'm supposed to be doing this. Sometimes we have to let go of that also, to be in the present, right? So we will understand it together, because the next thing is that letting go of psychological time. Learn to use time in the practical aspect of your life. Uh, where is the Sakshi? Uh, letting go of psychological time. Learn to use time in the practical aspect of your life. We may call this clock time. So we will understand the difference between psychological time and clock time. So learn to use the time in the practical aspect, clock time, but immediately return to present moment awareness when those practical matters have been dealt with. In this way, there will be no build-up of psychological time, which is identification with the past and continuous compulsive projection into the future. For example, you get a thought about your kids, about doing some work. So if you're getting a thought about it, just give it 1 minute, plan it. Okay, what am I going to make in the evening? Khana kya banana hai? So just think about it, let go, now come in the present. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Even after 30 minutes, again this thought will come. Khana kya banana hai? Right? Again, after 1 hour, it will come. And within that time, it will be there in the back of the mind. It is taking that energy, right? So in this way, there will be no build up. Like I said, that we say that, I'm doing this for last 6 months for you, and what have you done? Like in relationship, we say that. So this is all building up, right? Clock time is not just making an appointment or planning a trip. It includes learning from the past, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes over and over. Setting goals and working towards them. Predicting the future by means of patterns and laws, physical, mathematical, and so on, learned from the past and taking appropriate action on the basis of our prediction. So, author is explaining what is that clock time. Clock time means learning from the mistakes and setting goals, working towards them, predicting the future by means of patterns and laws, not anxious, just planning out of peace, out of cleanliness, clarity. This is a part of our life. This is very much part of our life. We don't have to let go of this, because some people counter this, that you're saying be in the present, be in the present. So what about planning? What about अच्छा गलती भी करते रहें और present में रहते नहीं? No, it does not mean that. We have to learn from the mistakes. Now, don't think that I'm carrying some past baggage. No, I'm learning from the mistakes. This we have to do, but I'm not clinging toward that guilt, that shame, that negativity which was associated with it, right? But even here, within the sphere of practical living, where we cannot do without reference to past and future, the present moment remains the essential factor. Any lesson from the past becomes relevant and is applied in now. Any planning as well as working towards achieving a particular goal is done now, right? Even planning all these things for future, learning from the past, still the most important thing is to be in the now, right? The enlightened person's main focus of attention is always the now, but they're still peripherally aware of the time. In other words, they continue to use clock time but are free of psychological time. And it has happened with me also, that focus of attention is in the now but on the periphery, on the outside, uh, aware of the time, which means being responsible for everything, being proactive, being a visionary, planning things beforehand, planning in a very, very beautiful way. And in fact, this helps us to be more clear, more focused. Even planning becomes very, 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 powerful thing, very enjoyable thing if I am in the present, right? Be alert as you practice this so that you do not unwittingly transform clock time into psychological time. For example, if you made a mistake in the past and learn from it now, you are using clock time. On the other hand, if you dwell on it mentally, dwell matlab wahan pe rehna. If you dwell on it mentally, if you are staying there only in that mistake and self-criticism, remorse or guilt come up, then you're making the mistake into me and mine. You make it part of your sense of self, and it has become psychological time. You have brought past in the present, which is always linked to a false sense of identity. You able to understand how we do things, how we keep thinking, keep going back to those things. I should not have done that. वो guilt, वो remorse, वो दुख, वो परेशानी. Then I'm using psychological time. I'm not using the clock time. Clock time means, okay, I made a mistake. I accept it. I have felt bad about it. Then let me work on it so that I don't repeat the mistake. Let me be conscious enough. Let me be present enough so that I have the power. I am powerful enough to not get carried away with my emotions, my thought, so that I don't repeat the same mistake again, right? Because it creates a wrong sense of self. It has become my identity, and this is a false sense of identity. If you set yourself a goal and work towards it, you're using clock time. You're aware of where you want to go, but you honor and give your fullest attention to the step that you are taking at this moment. So you set yourself a goal, work towards it. I want to do this. I want to reach there, but you honor and give your fullest attention to the step you're taking at this moment. आप अपना पूरा ध्यान उसमें दे रहे हो. And there's one more thing to it. I think the author is covering in the next line. And I know that happiness is not there. If I think that if I achieve there, I will be happy. No, I am aware that happiness is achieved going towards that journey. कहते हैं ना, enjoy the journey. It's all about journey, not the destination. So there I want to reach, but I'm enjoying the journey, enjoying all the learning, all the steps, being aware of the present. If you then become excessively focused on the goal, perhaps because you are seeking happiness, fulfillment, or a more complete sense of self in it, the now is no longer honored. So it's all about the intentions. If my intention is once I reach there, I will be happy, I will be fulfilled. If I'm making a reel, people make reel right now, no? Dance reels, and they think that when I will upload this, I will get these likes, these comments, then I will feel like he says that, more complete sense of self. अच्छा सा लगेगा. What we are doing, we are not honoring the present. We are not in the nature enjoying. We are in the future thinking that when I will upload this, then people will appreciate. And what is happening? I am not in the present. I will not be happy because this is all an illusion, right? So it becomes reduced to a mere stepping stone to the future with no intrinsic value, nothing. Clock time then turns into a psychological time. Your life's journey is no longer an adventure, just an obsessive need to arrive, to attain, to make it. You no longer see or smell the flowers by the wayside either, nor are you aware of the beauty and the miracle of the life that unfolds all around you when you are present in the now. This is so thought provoking, right? What do you think about it? नहीं तो क्या होगा अगर प्रेजेंट एंजॉय नहीं करेंगे तो लाइफ विल बी जस्ट लाइक ऑब्सेसिंग नीड टू अराइव. मतलब वहां पहुंच जाऊंगा तो कुछ हो जाएगा. When I will make it, I will get it. And you have, if you are conscious enough, you see people around you. Uh, Monday to Friday they work, and then they say Saturday ko they will go to party, they will do this. So what is this? Just waiting for something to happen. And the wait goes longer and longer. It never ends, right? And as I said, my experience, I was able to see the beauty of the flower, simple things, because I was so present, not full of negativity, full of past and future. I was able to see the things in front of me and appreciate it, right? So then only we will be aware of the beauty and miracles of life all around us, right? So, Seeker is asking, I can see the supreme importance of the now, but I cannot quite go along with you when you say that time is a complete illusion. When I say time is an illusion, my intention is not to make a philosophical statement. I am just reminding you of a simple fact, a fact so obvious that you may find it hard to grasp and may even find it meaningless, but once fully realized, it can cut like a sword through all the mind created layers of complexity and problems. Let me say it all. Let me say it again. The present moment is all you ever have. There is never a time when your life is not this moment. Is this not a fact? है ना वो बहुत सी बातें हैं इसमें, है ना? Carpe diem, there is a term carpe diem. If you have heard this term, its meaning is seize the day, make your life extraordinary. When I started practicing this, that I will focus just on today, I became so happy and I become so fearless. I wanted to do something that I can feel good about myself. I was more lively. The present moment is all we ever have. If I take care of my present moment, the future will take care of itself. बहुत कुछ नहीं करना है, आज को प्रेजेंट को अच्छा करना है, लाइफ अपने आप अच्छी हो जाएगी. So clock time, not psychological time. Okay. The insanity of psychological time. Insanity समझते हैं ना? हिंदी एग्जैक्ट तो मुझे नहीं पता, बट बहुत गलत जो कराता है हमसे, जो गलत चीजें हमसे करवाता है. दिस इज सो इनसेन. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड, राइट? You will not have any doubt that psychological time is a mental disease if you look at its collective manifestations. They occur, for example, in the form of ideologies such as communism, national socialism, or any socialism, or rigid religious belief systems, which operate under the implicit assumptions that the highest good lies in the future, and therefore the end justifies the means. The end is an idea, a point in the mind projected future when salvation in whatever form, happiness, fulfillment, equality, liberation, and so on, will be attained. Not infrequently, the means of getting there are the enslavement, torture, and murder of people in the present. Think about it. This is so true that if you have heard this term, communism, nationalism, what is that? So there has been times in our history when people were killed like anything, because they thought that this time is not good. If we clean all these things, the future will be better. I remember there is a country named as Cambodia, if you have heard. So there was a person whose real name I forgot, but he was known as Pol Pot. He was the reason for killing almost 25% population of that country, just because he said that I will create a new country. All that past thing, I will let go of it. He killed them literally, and thought that the better word would come. And in some religious beliefs also, uh, people interpret it. Mind it, it's not written in the scriptures. People interpret it. लोग उसे ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं दैट अगर आप ये करोगे तो आपको जन्नत मिलेगी, यू विल गो टू हेवन, दिस प्रेजेंट मोमेंट इज नथिंग, ये लाइफ कुछ नहीं है, डू समथिंग, सेक्रीफाइस योरसेल्फ, सेक्रीफाइस अदर्स, एंड यू विल हैव अ बेटर लाइफ. सो this is actually mind projected future, and it has created so much harm in our world, right? So for example, it is estimated that as many as 50 million people were murdered to further the cause of communism, to bring about a better world in Russia, China, and other countries. This is a chilling example of how belief in a future heaven creates a present hell. Can there be any doubt that psychological time is a serious and dangerous mental illness? It seems so, right? How does this mind pattern operates in your life? He said the bigger example, but let's look at our life. Are you always trying to get somewhere other than where you are? Think about it. Take a moment. Be honest, be honest, and please write also. Be honest and write. Are you always trying to get somewhere other than where you are? Is most of your doing just a means to an end? Is is fulfillment always just around the corner or confined to short-lived pleasures such as sex, food, drink, drugs, or thrills and excitement? Are you always focused on becoming, achieving, attaining? Attaining means ले लेना, अपने पास रख लेना. Or alternatively, chasing some new thrills or pleasures. Do you believe that if you acquire more things, you will become more fulfilled, good enough, or psychologically complete? Are you waiting for a man or woman to give meaning to your life? These are the some questions which we need to reflect and we need to answer honestly if we want to get the solution, right? In the normal mind identified or unenlightened state of consciousness, the power and infinite creative potential that lie concealed in the now are completely obscured by psychological time. Your life then loses its vibrancy, its freshness, its sense of wonder. The old pattern of thought, emotion, behavior, reaction, and desire are acted out in endless repeat performances, a script in your mind that gives you an identity of sorts, but distorts or cover up the reality of the now. The mind then creates an obsession with the future as an escape from the unsatisfactory present. So the answer to all these questions, that am I constantly trying to go somewhere else, looking for new thrills, new experiences, just to, making ourselves fool that if I do this, if I get a person, I will have a meaning in my life. And this is not a healthy way of living. This is, uh, you know, false. This is a lie which has been sold to us by social media, by web series you watch, that if you find someone, then it will give you a meaning to your life. If we do not have a meaning in our life, we will take away the meaning of life from other people also. So think about it, because if I am in that psychological time, I will lose the vibrancy, freshness, sense of wonder in my life. And this is what we used to have when we were kids. We had that vibrancy. Kids do not live in the past, they live in the present. That's why they are more happier, fresh. We will start feeling fresh, and we will start seeing world as a wonder, right? And right now these things seems very philosophical. If you're working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, these things seems like, I don't know where these things are right now, right? So just wait a minute. Let me see if we can read one more paragraph or not. Okay, what time is it? Okay, chalo. Last we will read it. So negativity and suffering have their roots in the time. But the belief that the future will be better than the present is not always an illusion. The present can be dreadful. Things can get better in the future, and often they do. This is so true, right? Usually, the future is a replica of the past. Usually, it happens, right? Superficial changes are possible, but real transformation is rare and depend upon whether you can become present enough to dissolve the past by accessing the power of now. What you perceive as future is an intrinsic part of your state of consciousness now. Intrinsic मतलब अंदर की जुड़ा हुआ है ना. If your mind carries a heavy burden of past, you will experience more of the same. That's so true. The past perpetuates itself through lack of presence. The quality of your consciousness at this moment is what shapes the future, which of course can only be experienced as the now. So author is saying that usually future is a replica of the past. If we don't bring a transformation in our thought pattern, if we don't become aware of our wrong patterns, then whatever has happened in the past, in future also that is going to happen. A thing here or there, otherwise it will, just by looking at your future, you can tell that where I will be in the future, right? So we need to, until and unless if I'm accessing the power of now, which means until and unless I am in the present, I am meditating properly, I am understanding my thought patterns, and I'm making myself healed with self love, with God's love, understanding it more clearly, then only those patterns will change. Otherwise, things are always going to be the same. You may win $10 million, but that kind of change is no more than skin deep. You would simply continue to act out the same conditioned pattern in more luxurious surroundings. Nothing is going to change. Humans have learned to split the atom. Instead of killing 10 or 20 people with a wooden club, one person can now kill a million just by pushing a button. Is this real change? You understand? If thoughts are not going to change, outside things are nothing. If it is the quality of your consciousness at that moment that determines the future, then what is it that determines the quality of your consciousness? Wow. What is it that determines the quality of your consciousness? And the answer is your degree of presence. So the only place where true change can occur and where the past can be dissolved is in the now. Right? So whatever change we want to bring, actually it is happening in the now. Don't go in the future. You know what we do when we have to bring a change? We go in the past, in the future, that, oh, I have to do this for 3 months. This is psychological time. If I'm trying to bring a diet change, but I say, oh, I have to do it throughout the day. No, I have to do it right now, just right now. Do I have to practice compassion? Yes, I have to do it right now. Forget about how long I'll be able to do that. If I'm able to do it in the present, that's it. That's it. Nothing else is needed. Right? So let me ask questions from today. Right? Okay. So if team, if you can check who wants to answer, let me ask the question. Okay, the first question is, so the author has discussed gaining a permanent shift to consciousness, right? What have you understood by what the author has suggested? How can you bring that permanent change in consciousness? How you can implement this in your life? Okay, yes, Samriddhi.
Hello, everybody. Greetings of peace. What I have understood by this is a mental shift into the consciousness is something like moving away from identification with the thoughts and the emotions to being actually a distinct and aware observer of all of them. It also means not getting like caught up in the mental chatter and the constant emotional waves which we get, but instead recognizing them as temporary and like it's not a part of me. It is temporary, just being there. So that is something which I have understood. And implementation, I would say this shift requires practice, of course. Mindfulness would be with activities and like exercises like meditation can help us become much more aware of our thoughts and emotions without judgment, and focusing on the present moment through our different senses, like seeing the flowers as discussed in the book, and then also hearing the chirpings of the bird, feeling how cute do we feel when we see a little dog on the street. All these things can help us to be in now and break from the mental loops of past and present. You know, the other day I was standing at a bus stop and I've been standing there since very long time. But now, since I have been practicing the power of now, I actually saw that there were such beautiful buildings in front of me with such beautiful trees. It was just so beautiful. I was really awestruck at that time. But I was just like, how have I not seen all of these things all these years? So that was something which really amazed me, and it's really so fulfilling to be in the present moment. That
Wow, so wonderful. Yes, that's what I said. I remember I had the similar experience. So, you start asking yourself, where were all these flowers before? I have not seen them. Suddenly, you start seeing more flowers, more colors, more wonders in your life because we have started, attracting them by being in the present. Yes, Vipinji, you want to answer the same question? Yes, Vipinji, can you
Yes,
please say?
yes. Am I visually and audible?
Sorry,
Visible and audible?
you are
Am
nodding.
I am visible and audible?
Yes, 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 audible. Yes.
Okay. In this question, actually, during this session itself, I got a phone call from my daughter, and I think for calling her in after this class. So in between, I got a little sleepy because I go into a future thing. So suddenly come back into the class. So I got the effect of the now, um, and actually in this class, especially today's class, is very much touching one because that two times told, that clock, that um, that psychological clock and the
Hmm.
clock. So we should not trap in that psychological uh, clock
Psychological time. Yes.
time,
Yeah.
psychological time. And actually, um, we can see, if we are in the present moment, we can see beauty in each and every person as well as each and every material also. And that's what um, I'm taking this. That's what I'm feeling also. Now,
That's
actually,
wonderful.
it is very worth to have this
Wow.
sessions.
So good. So good to know. That's great. Okay. So moving on to second question. So second question is, have you experienced situations that have triggered reaction with a strong emotional charge? And how have you dealt with it in the past? And how are you going to deal with it now? What have you learned that how to deal with these such situations and how you have dealt before? So who's going to answer? Hmm? Shy or were not present enough, focused enough to? do that? Okay, Anika. Okay. Yes, please answer.
Om Shanti, am I audible?
Om Shanti. Yes.
Okay. So, as the question says that how do you react in trigger situations? So, I would say even after we start practicing being in the present, when we become aware, when we start meditation, but still the real test is when a situation comes, when there is a trigger and we are not prepared. So that is the time when is the real test, and the ego mind is always, I have felt, more powerful, and it usually just suppresses the inner voice. So I would say it requires a lot of practice to separate ourselves from our mind. And it's quite interesting how the author says that the observation of the mind opens up the dimension of the timeless. So so you can feel coming into the present, and it's easier to step out of time dimension whenever time is not needed. So basically, just practice that there's no past, there's no future. You're timeless and you're in the present. So that will start helping, especially in trigger situations. So I think that's what I've learned. Thank
Yes, yes.
you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Anyone else wants to reply to the same question? Hmm? Shy or हिंदी में भी बहुत बता सकते हैं, no problem. Okay, so let's move on to the third question. So what did you actually what did you understand by the term clock time and psychological time? So how can we learn to use clock time and prevent the buildup of psychological time? Any new person who has never answered? DK Kiran. Okay. Can you turn on your video?
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Yes, I want to give this answer. First of all, when I started to learn this, the power of now, then I understood clock time means when I understand the past things, and then I try to understand how to learn from the past, and that I apply in the present. So like that when I did some mistake in my past, like when I gave one exam and I gave a lot of mistakes. So after that, when I implement these all mistakes in my present, now my score is very well. So I understand what is the meaning of clock time according to this.
Yes, yes, that's good. That's good. Anyone else? Samriddhi, let's hear from Samriddhi. You're on mute, Samriddhi.
Yeah, there was some network issue, I think. I was not able to unmute myself. So, yeah, for me, clock time is like referring to the objective linear timing, like which is managed by the clock and the calendars. It is useful for like planning and learning from the past. But in Power of Now, I have learned that using clock time productively actually involves setting goals and also working towards them while remaining completely present in the moment we are right now. And then psychological time it is a more of a subjective thing. It is the experience of time that is wrapped by my own thoughts and emotions. It may often be about like dwelling on the past, the regret or the anger about whatever happened in the past, or the fear or anxiety of the future, of like what the future holds, because it's like unseen. So there's always a sense of fear and anxiety. But this mental time travel pulls our attention away from the present moment, which is the only time where you can actually experience life. So, what I've learned is using clock time and avoiding psychological time buildup is really helpful for you to stay in the present moment, to learn from the past and to not dwell on it, but instead analyze past experiences from for the lessons which can help us to be a better person in the future. But also at the same time to not get stuck and in the blaming or the cycles of
Mm.
regret, and also planning for the future without any worry. So setting goals and making plans, but also making sure that I'm not consumed by the future anxieties, and also noticing when you are lost in your own thoughts, when your mind wanders to past or future, gently bringing your attention back to the present moment. Remembering
Yeah.
that this is a practice, it is not a one time achievement. I would say that with consistent efforts, we can learn the art of being in the present moment, and this would reduce the grip of psychological time. So, yeah, that
That's
is.
that's true. That's true. I have to plan. I have to do everything, but the moment I have done the planning, done the important things, I'll immediately come back to the present because present is all I have, and this present I have to make it better. That's so wonderful. Okay, so let's hear it from Indu sister. Yeah.
जो मैं फील करती हूँ क्लॉक टाइम जो है वो प्रेजेंट में जो टाइम हो रहा है, चाहे हम देख भी रहे हैं कि क्या टाइम है, वो भी हम प्रेजेंट में कर रहे हैं. और साइकोलॉजिकल टाइम है अगर हम पास्ट की बात करते हैं या फ्यूचर की बात करते हैं. जब हम बात भी करते हैं पास्ट की या फ्यूचर की, तब भी हम प्रेजेंट में ही बात कर रहे हैं, तो पावर सारी प्रेजेंट की है. जब हम पास्ट को या फ्यूचर को अपने ऊपर ओवर पावर करने देते हैं, तो हम साइकोलॉजिकल टाइम में हैं. लेकिन अगर हम पास्ट से भी कुछ मिस्टेक्स हैं पास्ट में, उससे उससे कुछ सीखना है, वो भी हम प्रेजेंट में ही कर सकते हैं. हाँ, फ्यूचर जरूरी है. अगर फ्यूचर के लिए कुछ प्लान करना है तो बस ठीक है, कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन तैयार कीजिए कि मुझे फ्यूचर में ये करना है, उसके बाद उससे डिटैच हो जाइए. बस उसकी इतनी इंपॉर्टेंस है, और पास्ट की इतनी इंपॉर्टेंस है कि हम उससे सीख लें, लेकिन जो भी
ठीक
कुछ
है.
करना है वो हम प्रेजेंट में करना है. थैंक यू.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल वंडरफुल, यही करना है डेफिनेटली. एंड आई कैन सी दिस लिटिल एंजल अंशिका, आप सुन रहे हो, पढ़ रहे हो? यू वांट टू शेयर समथिंग? Okay, let's hear it from Sujata.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think when we are involved in the activities which we love or of interest, then we will be in the clock time and go away from psychological time. But if we are looking to an end, that author says always means to look to an end. That is, we are involved in the activity which we don't like or we are not interested, but we are doing it for the sake of sustenance or something. Then we are more in the psychological time, our mind wanders in past and future. So only way to go into in the now or clock time is to do the activities which we really like and which we are of great interest to us. Thank you.
That's great. That's so wonderful. And we have to remember this because we have this habit. The mind will look for something in the future. It wants to do something, have something to feel a better sense of self or happiness, pleasure. And we have to let go of all these things and to tell that the most important thing is, am I enjoying the present or not? Otherwise, there is nothing to life if I'm not in the present and not enjoying it. That's good. Any last sharing anyone wants to do? Any last sharing? Whatever you have learned today or in the last sessions.
Om Shanti.
Achi, yeah, Are, wah, yes.
So from today's session, or the last question you asked about, that what is clock time and psychological time. So I would like to answer the question by when we think about ye karna hai, wo karna hai, आज की जो सारी बातें हैं दैट इज क्लॉक टाइम, जो भी हमारे काम है विच इज डिपेंडिंग ऑन द टाइम, एंड ऐसा क्यों हुआ, फिर मुझे ऐसा बनना है, फिर जो भी फ्यूचर रिलेटेड एंड पास्ट बात है ऐसा ही मेरे साथ क्यों होगा, वट एवर वॉट बाय क्यूज जो है वो साइकोलॉजिकल टाइम है। एंड बीइंग इन प्रेजेंट ये बहुत अच्छी बात है। एंड वन मोर शेयरिंग इज डाई बिफोर यू डाई,
Yeah.
that's it, so which helps us to be in present more. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. That's all we have to learn, uh, to come in the present and enjoying the present. That's very good. And you remember, who are you? I am this moment. And where are you? I am in the now, here and now. Okay, so great then. We will meet tomorrow again and let's keep continuing what we are doing. But remember, classwork is as important as homework. So equally important, be aware of what you have learned and read that book again also, because there are many depths to this book, and we will understand more we read it. So we have to become this book. So just get involved in this, learn from each and every line. There have been almost, I think, 5 6 so powerful lines which we can keep it, stick it on our wall and practice it, like the author says, you the moment you observe, you're not in the present, you are in the present. And I love this line um, that what is it that determines the quality of your consciousness? Your degree of presence. So we all want to increase the quality of our consciousness, which means we want to raise our vibration, consciousness, अपने होश को, अपनी powers को, अपनी values को, virtues को हम बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। और वो किस पर डिपेंड करेगा? योर डिग्री ऑफ प्रेजेंस। आप कितना प्रेजेंट में रहते हो पूरा दिन, उससे अपने आप कॉन्शियसनेस, लाइट, अवेयरनेस बढ़ जाएगी और जो डार्कनेस है अंदर वो सब खत्म हो जाएगा। ऑल राइट, सो आई विल सी यू टुमारो। ऐसे ही करते रहिए, डोंट मिस अ डे। कुछ ऐसा होता है, मिस होता है, तो प्लीज गो थ्रू द रिकॉर्डिंग, बट we have left many things in our life. Let's not this be a part of this. So let's try to do this, consistently. Okay, chalo. We will leave after listening to this beautiful song. Om Shanti.
you.